What is the first thought you have when you see the words Early Access on the store page for an indie game? Is it something along the lines of, oh wow, this looks cool, if I decide to pick it up, I can watch the game grow, getting new bits of content every so often to stay entertained, and even provide feedback if I want? Or is it, oh no, not another title that's going to be stuck on the verge of complete and incomplete for what could be years? I'm basically gambling on if the game will be a complete experience. Now, I can't say I haven't been on either side of this argument. Early access could be considered a controversial topic at this point, with it being a valuable tool for funding and feedback, or a waste of time and unfulfilled promises. But there was one early access title that I have been a fan of for years, and now it's fully released. And the minute it launched, a cold steel hand broke its way through my monitor and threw me into a realm of mechanical, fast-paced run-and-gun combat, with all new classes to experiment with, and a whole bunch of new levels to explore. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first Indie Shelf Reboot, featuring Robo Quest. A lot has changed since we last hung out with our brobots, but I can still confidently say that Robo Quest has some of the best movement, gunplay, and weapons that I have ever experienced in an indie game. The level design is second to none, with each level expressing itself with unique and colorful settings, utilizing those themes to craft exhilarating battle arenas, keeping you on the edge of your seat as you mow down robot hordes. Towering canyons with secret oases tucked behind waterfalls, city ruins with plenty of perches to snipe down corrupted robots, acid pits lined with virus-corrupted walls with minimal cover, making you feel like you're playing the most intense game of hopscotch, and even a combat rush on the moon. This game gives me the feeling of playing through an action-packed comic book with its cel-shaded graphics, cartoonish design of its characters, and the onomatopoeias that flash with every bullet you fire. Since the last time I reviewed this title, the world of RoboQuest has expanded farther than I could have imagined. Each level has branching pathways that lead you to new areas, but it's not given to you all at once. You'll need to find keys to unlock vault doors, secret passageways that can only be reached by thinking outside the box, and secret codes that are given to you in small hints. Or you can be like me and mash random buttons till you get it right. Boss fights are at the end of each level, and there hasn't been a boss I've encountered that isn't fun to fight. Each has their own unique gimmick that can be just as threatening as it is exploitable, making each go around with them a different experience as you experiment with different weapons and classes. The more I discovered in RoboQuest, the more I fell in love with the game's movement. The sprint speed is perfect. It's not too quick to where you struggle to control it, but fast enough to avoid enemy attacks while chaining together movement options, optimizing route traversal. The learning curve is an exhilarating trip that makes styling on enemies ever so satisfying. A bold choice of level design was the inclusion of grind rails. By no means do they look natural with the game's locales, but they are so fun to use that the game would not feel right without them. There's just something about zooming across a random floating bar as you rain hellfire on your enemies that just feels right. Choosing fun over aesthetic is always a welcome choice to me. Looking at your minimap, you will come across areas highlighted in different colors. These points of interest each have their own color and significance on the map. Purple are challenge rooms. These rooms consist of platforming challenges that will have you avoid harmful projectiles, dodge lasers, and test your timing abilities with intricate platforming. At the end of each challenge room is a chest that lets you choose one new weapon or perk. Orange consists of puzzles, fetch quests from NPCs, or hidden pathways to secret areas. Green are your checkpoints, little break areas that allow you to heal up, stock up on new gear, and choose your next path. So, what do we have to work with to help us reach our goal? Recently, RoboQuest just announced their Arsenal update, adding tons of new weapons that really spice up the combat. You have your typical assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and such, but all work well and feel really good to use. Like a master preaches to their student, without basic fundamentals, even the most complex of techniques are pointless. Since RoboQuest's guns have such a solid foundation, when they start to break into the weird stuff, you can tell just how much love and genuine fun went into all their weapons. You have power gauntlets that pack one hell of a punch, a squirt gun that shoots destructive Orbeez, ancient Chinese dragon mortars, a device made of junk that shoots laser beams, and a vacuum cleaner filled with bees. Again, this is only scratching the surface. RoboQuest's arsenal is filled with all sorts of interesting weapons that show the devs inspirations from pop culture and even other video games. Weapons can even have alternate fires, status enhancements, and elemental properties depending on their rarity. Now, if you've watched my last video on this game, or are a veteran player yourself, you already know that the weapon and perk system has been completely overhauled. Before, there were 4 color-coded weapon types that you could upgrade by matching the items you found in loot chests that had the same color. Well, that system has been completely thrown out the door and replaced with the rarity scale, and now items only upgrade basic characteristics of your weapons and class. I, for one, am a huge fan of this change, because it has removed all restrictions from weapon experimentation. Before, your weapon choices were determined on matching items with the correct weapon color. This of course led to insanely fun and broken builds, but it kept you from trying out new weapons outside their type, or if you saw a weapon you really liked during a run, odds are you wouldn't be able to use it to its full potential because your current build didn't match its color. And when you're essentially rolling the dice with every chest you open and random drops you find, you either had to be really lucky or hold out till you found the items you were looking for so you could use your favorite weapon. And I see the sides of both arguments. I agree, the old system was well made in terms of building your character up when mixing and matching colored weapons and items, but I'd rather have the freedom to swap to any weapon I want, whenever I want, without it compromising my current build. Other resources you have on your run are the friends you make along the way. During your Robo Crusade, you will encounter multiple NPCs that will offer you free upgrades or even set up shop at your checkpoints to sell you new upgrades, weaponry, and customization options for your current build. These shops require energy cells to make transactions. You get these by either destroying enemy robots or finding them in chests. To increase the odds of finding these treasures, we'll need to go to our base camp. Well, I guess Max invented a renovation bot because my god, the base camp is unrecognizable from what it was before. We've gone from a dinky pop-up shop to a full-fledged headquarters filled with all sorts of secrets and quality of life features. While in camp, you can visit the workshop to purchase upgrades to strengthen your robots or improve the qualities of items you find or purchase from NPCs. Explore the museum to read enemy data entries, the weapons archive, or plan your next venture with the roadmap. Sharpen your skills at the firing range, experimenting with new guns and their potential features to find out which suits you best. You can even play the target minigame and rack up a high score. Finally, take a load off at the theater, where you can view all the cutscenes you've unlocked. And I'm gonna be real, I haven't really paid much attention to the story. The gameplay already stole my heart. But from what I picked up, there's an evil virus you need to take down, and god damn it, they kidnapped the homie Burger Bill! This absolutely will not stand. Burger Bill is such a pure and gentle bot, and the thought of him being captured is unthinkable. Fetch me my big iron. It's time to start gunslinging. But before we save our Burger Brobot, we need to discuss the classes. All former classes are back and better than ever, and there's even a few new faces that have joined the party, and I will be going over all of them right now. Guardian. Your learning class, but never not useful. What makes Bastion such a solid choice are his well-rounded upgrades when leveling up, and the ability to just turn off his hurt box whenever he wants. Having the freedom to decide when not to take damage is incredibly useful to escape from a rocky situation, ignore the boss moves that trip you up, and just gives the player the opportunity to learn all the game's tricks and how to avoid them when they decide to start messing around with other classes. But even then, Bastion is never a bad choice. Commando. My personal favorite class. This is your Unga Bunga class. You have 2 methods of burst damage at your disposal in the form of a mini rocket and a handheld shotgun. When these tools are upgraded, you will make short work of any robot that gets in your way. All you see is red, no explosion is big enough, and should any bot dare to be left standing after your attack, they will be greeted with a shorty slug straight to the CPU. Rocket jumping is also a thing, and having a vertical escape option that also damages enemies is a bird and stone solution. It also helps to reach those hard to reach secrets. Ranger. You are a hunter in the shadows, equipped with 2 spears that can be upgraded to have elemental properties or just have even more spears. Trip up your enemies by turning invisible, leaving a decoy in your place, either to escape or get the drop on your foes. This class is fun, but if you can't get the arc of your spear throw down, you're going to struggle. Engineer. Don't want to play the game? We'll call on your drones to play for you. Sync all your upgrades into summoning traits to create your own mini army or a destructive force of small elite drones. Either way, sit back, relax, and should anyone get too close to you, just zap them with your laser arm. Recon. You are speed. You are death. And nothing is out of your reach. Max has uploaded this bot with the entire shonen library of Crunchyroll, giving this bot unrealistic movement abilities in the form of a blink that lets you dash wherever you want. Physics not required. And as a bonus, any enemies standing near you when you perform this affront to God get stunned instantly, leaving them wide open for a short-ranged attack. Thanks to your weave drive, you are skilled with the blade and can manipulate its properties to fit whatever style of ninjutsu you want. Just don't get too cocky, or you will meet your warrior's death sooner than expected. Elementalist. The forces of magic and machinery have combined to bring you this robot. Elementalist is like playing Mario Party with the forces of nature. You have rotating special abilities that swap between fire, lightning, and ice. Fire has lingering burn damage, lightning chains between enemies and stuns them, and ice slows them down and makes them weaker to gunfire. Knowing how to utilize each element for both your projectiles is vital to your survival. Yes, you can modify them to your liking via level ups, but being comfortable with each elemental effect and how their projectiles function can go hand in hand with your weapons should they also possess elemental properties. Every class can be customized to your playstyle with their level up perks. Robo Quest is a fast-paced roguelike with an emphasis on character building and exploration. Each level bursts with personality. The movement is incredibly fun. The gunplay rivals the AAA studios with how good each weapon feels. The enemies are fun to fight and evolve the more you play. Bosses are memorable, with each fight testing your skills on how to learn their patterns and exploit their weaknesses. And the customization with both the classes and weapons yield infinite potential. I love this game, and watching it grow over time was one of the coolest things I got to experience in all of my years of playing video games. The devs really showed their passion for the first-person shooter genre and gave it their all when making this game. And based on its looks and inspirations, they had a blast doing it. So please, if you haven't yet, give Robo Quest a try. You won't regret it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!